You are now listening to the RSL Show on KSL Sports, Utah's largest sports network. Your number one source for everything Real Salt Lake. Utah's number one rated Real Salt Lake podcast.
Hey guys, welcome in. It's a brand new edition of the RSL Show on the KSL Sports Network. We hope you guys had a fantastic holiday, a fantastic new year, off to an interesting start here in 2025. But nevertheless, the RSL Show coming at you for another year of drama, suspense, intrigue, whatever you want to call it, of this upcoming Major League Soccer Real Salt Lake season. Joining me today, of course, Joshua Clark. Josh, how was your holidays, man?
Exhausting, bro. I'm starting to turn into a bah humbug, dude.
Are you not a fan of Christmas anymore?
I mean, I am. I just really, really wish the day after Christmas was also a holiday.
Yeah, it was kind of weird this year because it landed on a Wednesday, and so
both of them did. So it's just a weird time warp.
Everybody had to go back to work the next
day.
Yeah, it's gross. It's gross.
I'm glad it's over because I just couldn't figure out where I was. It was like the Twilight Zone for 2 weeks.
It's getting expensive, man. As I've gotten older, I've realized that the holidays gets pricey.
Yeah, that's why you draw names, so they have to buy a couple gifts.
I should do that. I should start doing that next year.
It's so nice.
And then, of course, joining us as well, Carson Lantz. Carson, how was your holidays?
Very cold. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I enjoyed the holidays. I spent a lot of time with my family, you know, some well-needed time. Nice to just reconnect with everyone and see like extended family, and just it was nice. I enjoyed it. Nice, a lot of relaxing, a little too much relaxing, but
yeah. Now
I'm back into my good old routine of work and all of that. So
there you go. Did you get anything cool for Christmas?
Let's see what I got. I got a dope like backpacking backpack.
Okay, cool.
That like I'm kind of gonna use like as like a traveling like as like my suitcase when I travel, but as well if I ever want to go backpacking. So I got that.
There you go. That's solid, man.
Yeah.
My holidays were pretty good. We got a whole week off of KSL that week. Nice. That week of Christmas. We got a nice week off of being on the radio, of doing the radio shows and whatnot. And so it was really nice to take a couple of days off to literally do nothing for the first time in probably a year. I don't think I've had like a solid week off for a while. And so it was super relaxing, super refreshing. And now I'm just itching for soccer to be back. I love the college football season. I love basketball. I love that season as well. But my heart belongs to soccer, and I'm missing soccer. I need Real Salt Lake in my life. So I'm happy to be back with you guys talking about Real Salt Lake. But unfortunately, there's not much to talk about.
Not much at all. It's very quiet.
It's been extremely quiet, except for a couple of news sprinkled in here and there. We'll start with probably the exciting one. It was interesting because the last time we talked and we jumped on here, we talked a little bit about Matt Doyle's article where he name dropped Diego Luna and Emeka Eneli for potentially being called up to the January camp. And now we have the excitement of seeing both Emeka and Diego at this month's U.S. men's national team camp. Diego and Emeka both called up for Mauricio Pochettino. Guys, your thoughts on their call-ups?
You know, it's absolutely incredible. Just think about a guy like Emeka went from playing college and soccer in college. The national team was probably never a thought for him, right? And to see him go from a draft pick to a starter, a captain at one point, you know, really making a name for himself, and now getting a coach like Pochettino to, you know, catch his eye. It's so cool for Emeka. It's also really cool for Diego. I'm very happy for Diego, but I think it's cooler for Emeka.
Yeah, I mean, I was very ecstatic to see Emeka get called up, as well as Luna. Like I feel like we all kind of expected Diego Luna to get called up by Pochettino, but I think looking at a guy like Emeka Eneli, I think puts some hope into college players. You know, if you have that drive, you have that motivation, and you listen and put your head down and listen to your coaches and just surround yourself with good people. I think Emeka Eneli is like one of those guys that just works his butt off, and I think he deserves I'm not gonna say I think he deserves to be where he is right now.
100%. Love that both guys are getting the nod under the new head coach. It's going to be interesting to see how they perform, right? It's January. They haven't played soccer since the end of November or the beginning of November. And so I hope that they just go into that camp and show what they're capable of, show what they can do, knock off that rust quick and hit the ground running, because this is that camp. This is the camp that's going to put them even more on Pochettino's radar to potentially continue to be called up even more once you have the strongest team, right, for those tournaments, whether it's the upcoming World Cup, whether it's Nations League, whatever it may be. Just go out there, have a phenomenal showing, and hopefully continue getting that call up.
Well, I mean, they're going to be the prime age, once the World Cup does come around for, the U.S. So it's good timing for them. And it'd be really cool if they got some minutes. Who is it against, Venezuela?
Yeah, they're playing Venezuela and somebody else.
Yeah, so it'd be even cooler if we actually got to see them on the field with the national team.
Yeah.
I might have to buy me a new U.S. kit, to be honest.
I think this is a perfect opportunity as well, because usually like 3 or 4 MLS guys get called up to the U.S. World Cup squad, every World Cup. Even if like I think that's just a thing that happens. Call up the best, 3 or 4 best MLS players that are American. And right now, I think Emeka Eneli is one of those players that could potentially get called up.
And honestly, even Diego Luna.
Yeah, he may or may not be around still. Maybe Emeka might not be around still. They might both have gone off to Europe.
Well, they're always RSL players in our eyes.
Yeah, we love them.
Josh, you mentioned that you were potentially going to look at getting a U.S. men's national team jersey. Would you get Diego or would you get Emeka?
The logic I'm going to use here, I have a Luna All-Star Game kit and an RSL kit, so I think I'd have to go Emeka. I need an Emeka kit, whether it be RSL or the U.S. men's national team.
Yes, sir.
But they'll have to play. They have to play in a match before I can get one, so...
What an amazing and awesome year it has been for Diego Luna. You mentioned the All-Star Game, right? This is a kid who comes up from the USL, played with El Paso, comes into Major League Soccer. At first didn't really probably get as many minutes as he probably wanted to, but then immediately the next season comes in, makes a difference-making impact. He gets the All-Star nod. Correct me if I'm wrong, the youngest All-Star ever to be called up. I believe that was
correct.
That was the statistic. But now you have, and there was that talk about being left off the Olympic roster, and there was the snub of Diego Luna right in the summer. But
Holter's an idiot.
Yes, there was the snub last year as well. But for him to just put his head down, continue to work, and now in the eyes of Pochettino gets the call up, amazing to see from Diego.
And before anyone starts screaming at their phone, I know Berhalter wasn't the Olympic coach, but still.
Yeah, I've already forgotten. Oh, Mitrovic, yeah. I don't even know where that guy is now. He's somewhere. I don't think he's around anymore.
Either way,
not important. He's not important.
Yeah.
Either way, I think the men's national team was in need of an overhaul. You're hosting the World Cup.
Yes.
You have to show better. And I think this is a step in the right direction, not only obviously for the local guys in Diego, in Emeka, but obviously going forward in looking and starting to build towards that 2026 squad, which, again, you're hosting the World Cup. It's going to be pivotal to have a good and competitive national team. And I hope, we can continue to see Diego and Emeka be a part of that, and maybe potentially some more RSL players down the line.
Yeah. It's really inspiring to see the paths both Emeka and Diego have taken to get where they are now. I mean, obviously, Diego from the USL and Emeka from MLS Academy to college soccer, and now he used to be a forward to now a DM / right back. I got called up to the national team for those positions. Like that's crazy. That's crazy.
Dude, I always forget that he was a forward in college, and then
Wild.
comes into the league.
Yep.
They see him as a right back. They throw him out there at right back for a couple of games, and then this year just completely takes over that midfield alongside Brian Ojeda.
And didn't just take it over, bro. He
Yes.
owned it.
Yes, and I think that's what makes his story even more awesome because of that versatility that he just has.
Yeah.
So looking around the league, we're getting rumblings of a bunch of interesting moves, right? The Paul Arriola to Seattle move has just been finalized earlier today. Jesus Ferreira earlier last week was finalized. Brandon Vasquez breaking a club record transfer to Austin FC. I think it was $10 million reported by Tom Bogert, coming back to Major League Soccer and joining the Austin side, which, by the way, I think is a sneaky good pickup from Austin. But there's a lot of rumblings of teams making these moves, specifically Western Conference teams, but there's a team that still has yet to make any noise in the transfer window.
You mean just picking up depth pieces from other MLS sides isn't making noise, Alex?
That doesn't count.
No, I'm in full agreement. I'm in full agreement. Right now, my hype level for the season hasn't really hit me, right? I'm very excited for it to start, but I'm also kind of wondering, is there anything to be excited for? I know there's Champions Cup, all these other things, but we've lost depth, right? We've lost really good pieces, and we haven't really replaced them. And it's kind of a pivotal year to have a good season, with Champions Cup. So I'm a little worried at the moment, and I don't have a lot of excitement for the season to start yet, other than I'm just excited for the season to start. But there's nothing really making me look at the calendar and go, how many more days till the season starts, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think once it gets closer, once preseason starts to heat up, you'll probably start feeling that excitement again. Because, it's been kind of slow right now, and everyone's probably in the same boat as you, where they don't have that excitement that has hit them yet.
But I think Austin fans are going to be excited. Austin is making.
They better be. They got a dog.
But see, that's because Austin has made moves.
Okay.
You look at Seattle, and I could probably say that a lot of that Seattle fan base is going to be excited. You re-sign Albert Rusnak.
They're not excited about that, by the way.
They're not. Oh,
on Twitter anyway. There's a lot of upset people.
Interesting.
Could give that DP to Marcus Rashford, man.
That was never going to happen.
They're not benching Jordan Morris for Marcus Rashford. Let's be honest.
The amount of money they would have to pay Marcus Rashford a week, there's just no way.
Yeah, they'd have to treat him like Messi.
If not more. He's on what, $350,000 a week?
Yeah, and he's younger.
Yeah. So, and I mean, teams in Europe can't afford him. You think MLS is going to pay him to play in Seattle?
What, he makes like $375K a week.
It's great. I'll take that a week.
Yeah. Hey, come on over. I'll put in the better shifts than him with that money.
Hey, in case you missed it, earlier last week, it was being reported that Seattle were having internal discussions about signing Marcus Rashford from Manchester United. There's obviously a lot of smoke going on about Rashford's departure from United at the moment, and I kind of wanted to bite and play along for a little bit in thinking that Seattle could potentially bring over Marcus Rashford, but then I really thought about it, and I thought, there's no way.
Yeah, that's a little too far fetched, man.
Yeah. There's no way. Yeah. But back to the what we were discussing. There's teams like Seattle, teams like Austin, who are making moves, and they're good moves on paper, right? They're good moves on paper. You're reloading. Seattle was a team who was down and out probably 3 months into the season. We didn't think anything of them. Boom, they shoot up the table. They end up taking third place.
Yeah.
In the Western Conference, and they're reloading. They're bringing in Ferreira. They're bringing in Arriola. There's still moves to be made by Seattle. DPs have been re-signed. Joao Paulo's coming back. You look at Austin, since that 2022 season or 2021 season haven't been good. Driussi's probably on his way out, but they're reloading. Brandon Vasquez is coming in, and that's a huge signing.
That is a great signing.
But what is Real Salt Lake doing after losing so much depth pieces and so many pieces that we counted on this last season?
$4 million in salary is off the table now.
Trying to keep Chicho Arango. I think that's what's going on.
If that's the case, then sell him and let's sign some other players.
No, for real though. Like if we can get like two guys that score just as much as Chicho, bring them along. Like,
yep.
I know we had that link with that guy Lithuania. I don't know if you guys saw that, but young, like what, 20, 21 years old. Yeah, bring him on over.
Oh, yeah. Actually, you know what? I did see that.
Yeah. I don't know. I just want players in right now because this is my thing. I'm not trying to bash Chicho at all, but when I look back at the end of the second half of the season when his goal numbers like went from he scored 17 goals and then all the way down to 0 second half of the season. Like he didn't score like at all. And in my head, I think, okay, what's going on in the locker room? What's going on in his head? Blah blah blah. But when I think about that, I'm like, is he a mentality beast? Like if Pablo yells at him, does Chicho get mad and just like put his head down and is like, nah, I don't want to try anymore? Because that's kind of what it seemed like what happened a little bit, you know?
It's worrisome, man.
Yeah,
it's so worrisome.
Especially when you're DP
he's not performing.
Well.
Yeah, if he's not performing, we haven't really retooled anything. So it's like, okay, this guy that played for Nashville, who I still don't remember his name. It's going to take preseason for me to remember his name.
Mukhtar?
Like
I know who you're talking about. Never mind. My bad.
I wish we got Mukhtar.
But like, is he going to be able to even replace Julio's production? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, Luna's already going to be missing for camp. Who knows if he gets called up again, he'll be missing. Yeah. Same with Eneli. Mark's unproven. I mean, he's coming along, but he's still unproven. Yeah. Lachlan Brook, we still don't know what we're getting out of him. It's just worrisome.
Gone.
Crooks is gone. Yeah, it's happening.
Basically, what I heard about that guy from New York Red Bulls, from Red Bull fans and
Elias Manel.
Yeah, they said his profile is basically just like Anderson Julio's, except they got him for half the price,
which is fine. But
yeah.
We're not even talking about the attack, like center back depth, goalkeeper, like literally anything right now to improve the squad would make me feel better. Because right now the bench looking kind of scary.
Yeah,
injuries are worrying me. Call-ups are worrying me. I don't know. I'm just preseason salty.
I think they know what they're doing. It's just taking some time, as usual. I feel like it usually takes them a second.
Same, but I also have the old Deloy PTSD. You want new guys in for preseason, and that's right around the corner. It's stressful.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just right around the corner. Preseason reporting starts on Saturday. For those of you who didn't know,
way less than right around the corner.
Oof, that's a lot sooner than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
yes.
So I'm excited. Let's go.
I'm excited to have something to talk about.
Yeah.
There are teams around the league that will start reporting to their teams on Saturday. Some report a little bit later. I think Real Salt Lake is in the a little bit later window because their Champions League game or Champions Cup game isn't until the Wednesday before the league starts. Regardless, preseason is here. Teams are going to start reporting, and we mention a lot when it comes to Diogo about how important it is going to be for him to get a preseason under his feet. Now, if we bring in new guys, they're susceptible to missing that preseason.
Well, and that's the other thing we have to worry about. Diogo has not proven himself at all. So what if he doesn't come good after preseason?
That is still very well in the mix.
It's just a stressful time, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I know trust the process, yada, 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 but I'm an impatient fan, okay?
Which is fair. Sometimes you Gotta be.
Josh has been here long enough. What is this season now, Josh? Is this 9?
Of recording or fandom?
No, of RSL Show.
9 or 10, man. It's been a long time.
Wow.
See, Josh has been doing this long enough. He deserves a championship, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2013,
Good
man. I
Josh
still cry at night.
Come on.
I still cry about 2013 all the time.
I know. Me too.
I was actually in Europe for 2009, so I missed that in person.
Oh, no.
I've never been to a final that we've won. You know, Open Cup, Champions League, MLS Cup, lost all 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I deserve some joy, okay?
Yeah. That's crazy to think. Like, last time we were up for MLS, when we first won the MLS Cup 2009, I was 6 years old. And then 2011 we were up for it as well? Or was that 2014?
2013.
2013, yeah.
Man.
You guys are babies.
Yeah.
Circling back to a comment that was dropped earlier by one of you two, mentioned Matt Crooks, and it is reported by Tom Bogart that Matt Crooks is expected to join Hull City. He was in Hull for a medical, getting a transfer sorted to head back to the championship in England. And so that's another player that Real Salt Lake relied heavily on last season that Real Salt Lake will more than likely not be able to count on next season.
Yeah, this one, it's similar to the burrito situation back in the day. If your family wants to be somewhere and they don't want to join you, I think that's what we got going on here. So
yeah,
it's not because, you know, we didn't see Crooks as being a key part of the team, or, you know, we wanted to keep him, but, you know, respecting the player's wishes to, you know, keep his family happy. So while it does suck, I was a Crooks fan. I thought he did a lot of good. I'm happy for him. And I guess I'll have to watch some championship Hull City Tiger soccer, which does not sound enjoyable. So maybe I won't.
Yeah, I hope he does good at Hull City. I know I haven't kept up with them recently, but that's a good move for him, especially since if it's like family stuff and, you know, keep like be around the kids and be around the wife. Nothing like you can never get mad at a player for wanting to put his family first over like what he wants. And so I respect that a lot.
Even in down the stretch, right after Diogo joined the team, Matt Crooks still took a lot of minutes from Diogo. That was still a guy that Real Salt Lake relied on heavily down the stretch. Look, 3 goals, 3 assists. It's not pretty. It's not the most eye-popping stat. But what he did off the ball and what he did defensively, I think is what made Crooks such a good piece for Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, we talked about it when we wrapped up the season. He was an intangibles guy.
Yes. But I also think now that that's a position in which Real Salt Lake can get younger. Is that going to be a transfer? Is that going to be one of these guys coming out of the draft? Is that going to be a homegrown? That's still yet to be determined. But I think that the rotation piece with Diogo at that center attacking midfield spot, I think is a position that Real Salt Lake is now going to try to get younger with the departure of Matt Crooks.
Yeah, and I mean, that's Diego's the DP, right? He needs to be starting in that position. So, I mean, it's not like we're losing someone that should have been starting in that position to begin the season. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a position that you could look to, you know, your academy kids and really hope for some magic. I'd be fine with that as long as it's productive. And as long as we give someone a chance, that's kind of the key there. But it's sad, though. I'm going to miss him.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
I liked Crooks a lot. Like, I went on the social media, if you guys follow me at all, defending Crooks, because I feel like I saw a lot of like negativity towards him a lot, where they're like, this guy doesn't put up the numbers, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, soccer's not a numbers game. I'm like,
no.
Crooks.
You ever tried to play fantasy soccer?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
impossible.
I watched Crooks a lot, and I analyzed what he did on and off the ball. Like I think he was like, what I think of Crooks is he was a Pablo Mastroeni type player. He did the things no one wanted to do, which was drop back and win the ball back, like get behind the ball whenever he lost it, and his just off the ball movement. Like for example, I remember when Andres Gomez was still here. Once him and Crooks started linking up, their off and on the ball movement was insane together.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and let's also not forget that Crooks wasn't an attacking midfielder naturally.
Yeah.
So he's not going to put up the numbers.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see, again, the reaction of Matt Crooks when he first arrived and when he first started getting his opportunity, to now that the news has come out and the report has come out from Bogart saying that he's potentially, departing Real Salt Lake, and to see the comments on and the reaction on social media saying it's a big loss. And we went from, in just the span of the year, we went from Crooks being not a fan favorite to quickly being a fan favorite. And I think that's just a testament to him being a good person and being a good humanitarian. And I think that's probably what I'll miss the most about Matt Crooks.
There's still some negative Nancys out there celebrating this departure.
I haven't seen any too much, surprisingly. So
yeah, there better not be too much.
All right. I think that's going to wrap it up, guys. Again, because nothing's happened and we're sitting ducks. We're just waiting.
Patiently.
Just waiting for the news.
Just waiting for something to drop, something to get us excited for this 2025 season. And I think because Josh and we had this conversation right before we started recording, but I want to bring it up on the show. Right now, aside from losing all these depth pieces and all these depth players, you're basically running it back with the same team you did last season. And I want to pose this question on the show and have a conversation about it real quick before we get out of here. When was the last time a team in Major League Soccer ran it back and was actually successful? That silence is
speaks volumes.
Because there is none. You look at a team like Columbus, who basically ran it back last season with the same squad after they won MLS Cup. Now, I'm not saying they weren't successful. That's not what I'm saying at all, because they did have a pretty successful season. But how far did they get in this year's playoffs?
Not far.
They were one and done.
But let's also, it's a lot easier to be comfortable running it back after you've won a championship.
Yes, and that's a completely different step, right? Yep. You're coming off an MLS Cup win. You can see potentially more success running it back. But this is a Real Salt Lake team that, let's be honest, down the stretch,
floundered.
They plateaued. There wasn't much to be excited about down the stretch. Couldn't score a goal against Minnesota, and we're one and done.
But let's be excited about Champions Cup and running it back. It's fine. It'll all be fine. Let's not be negative, even though I really want to be.
Yeah, don't be a negative Nancy.
I am a negative Nancy, though. Salt is my middle name.
Sometimes you need a negative Nancy in your life. So I'm glad you're in my life, Josh.
Thank you. As Alex learned, I can be very salty, but I try to keep it as fair and not like not a
hater.
Just not negative to be negative, right?
Yeah.
I just want what's best for the team I love.
Yeah.
There you go.
Which is fair.
There you go. All right, guys. Anything else you want to add, say, you want to throw out there into the universe before we wrap this one up?
I guess we'll be back next week because preseason will have started, so yeah, that's cool. But I say if anything big happens between now and then, we'll jump back in to talk about it.
Yes, sir. Just got to keep being patient, everyone. We'll get news sooner or later. I'm personally excited to get back out there and put out some more content for my second season with RSL. So
there you go. See, that's something to be excited about, Josh. It's Carson's first year with the RSL show.
I'm excited about that.
There you go.
Cool.
There you
It'll
go.
be fun.
All right, guys. Again, we hope you guys had the most wonderful holidays and the happiest of New Year's. We want to thank you again for listening, for tuning in, for subscribing, for following, for doing everything that you have to do to follow the RSL Show on the KSL Sports Network for the best RSL content. We'll talk to you guys soon, hopefully with some better Real Salt Lake news on the next RSL Show.